Hello everyone. In the ongoing Chess Olympiad, we have seen the winning streak of Indian Grandmaster Gukesh D. But there is one more player from the women's section, that is Kiolbasa Oliwia from Poland. She has won her all 9 matches. That is simply great. In the 9th round of the Chess Olympiad, Team Poland was paired against Team India. And here on the 9th round, Oliwia defeated Indian Grandmaster Vaishali R. So I am going to analyze the endgame. So let's start. So here we have the position on the board and this is equal endgame. So this is theoretically it is drawn endgame, but it teaches us that we should never be complacent anytime. So white played the move h4 and in this position Vaishali R made a mistake. So it is not obvious mistake. So let's start. Black played the move of king g6 and it is a blunder. Okay, let's first check what was the simple move. Black could have taken on h4, g into h4, and now after the move king g6, h5 check. Taking on h5 is not the way because there is rook h8 check and we will make a queen. So king f5 and this is draw. Why? Because king on f5 is completely safe and there are no checks to the black king and it can move between g5 or f5 and black can always give lot of checks, rook a1 check, rook a2 check, and this is a draw game. So in the game black played king g6 and now what will you play for white? You can pause the video and here comes the move which Vaishali R missed, that is h5 check. Again king into h5 is not possible because of rook h8 check. So now we will see some options for black. In the game black chose the f7 square. So we can eliminate h6 because there is rook h8 check. So let's see the move king f5. Now the difference here is there are pawns like on h5 and g5. So this makes a big difference and king on f5 is completely stuck on that square. So of course it cannot come on this e file. So this is a big drawback of black's position. Now white's plan is to take his king on the black's king side, that is on f7 square, and collect the g7 pawn. So this is a long plan. Let's see how it will be executed. So f3 is important to cover the square g4 and again the king is totally restricted. King cannot move here. Now let's say rook a1 check, king d2, rook a3, and slowly white is pushing his king. So rook a1, king c4, and black cannot do anything. For example, if rook a5 stopping the king from moving onwards, then king b4 attacking the rook. Rook a2, king c5, rook a6, and slowly white is making progress. And like rook has to go back to the a file because if not then we will move our rook and pawn will be promoted. So rook a3 and slowly we can play king e7, king f7 and winning the g7 pawn. So that's why king f5 completely stuck and black didn't choose this king f5 move. Let's check the move king h7. Again the problem is same. The king is completely restricted and cannot move anywhere from there. So f3 move, again it's important, and now we will slowly take our king. So let's see, but here there is one single difference. The line is not that simple compared to king f5 because after king f5 we were just taking our king on e7, f7 taking the g7 pawn, but here king is protecting the g7 pawn. So after making some progressive moves, this is the setup we want to achieve, and now we want to play the move h6. So this is important idea. If g into h6, then we can take the pawn on f6 and this is winning position for white. If not, black plays rook a6, then we can take on g7, king into g7, and we will convert this into the winning king pawn endgame. So king d8, rook a1, rook c8, and after rook into a7, rook c7 check, rook into c7, king into c7, already white takes the opposition, distant opposition. So there are 3 squares in between. So this is distant opposition, and anywhere black plays, black will be in Zugzwan. This is very nice. Now let's see the game. In the game, white chose the f7 square. So this is the better option because now it will not allow king e7. So white has to choose a different plan here. So white plays the correct move f4. Now black took on f4, g into f4, and played the move f5. Now this move is again an important move for black. Otherwise, at some point, white is going to play the move f5, and after f5 there will follow h6, and that will put black in Zugzwan. So the move f5, and now again white has to take his king on g5 square. So here already king on f7 is controlling these squares. So now we will take our king on g5. So let's see how it goes. And finally the king will arrive on g5. So now f5 pawn is attacked, so black plays rook a5, and here comes the move h6. After g into h6, king into h6, we are threatening to play the move rook h8. And rook a6 check, king g5, and we are winning the f5 pawn, and again this is a winning position. And she easily won this game. So after f5, this is like textbook win. This position is there in Dvoretsky's endgame manual, and we have to just decoy this king. Without the f pawn, this position is a draw. Okay, but the f pawn makes the difference. So rook a2 check, and we give the f6 pawn for free. And after king into f6, we have check and making the queen, and if rook into f6, then we can simply move our rook, and next move is queen. So this was very, very instructive endgame, and this shows the never give up attitude from Oliwia. Even in the draw position, she won this game. So this is quite commendable and simply great. I hope you like my explanation. Thanks for watching the video.